Hey everybody, I'm Mike with Omega Survival, and this is my review of the 2Go Systems Little Joe Utility Shovel. The head is constructed of 3 CR13 MOV steel, and it has an oxidation hardening treatment. The handle's aircraft grade aluminum. It has a compass at the end of the handle. It has a hollow handle to store survival items, and it has 2 hex heads here. And what I'm thinking is that they're probably designed for like lawn maintenance, like chainsaws, but they're pretty standard. It's pretty thick. I'd say it's about an 1/8 inch thick. Let me get a tape measure here so you can see it's roughly 5 inches by 7, and you have about 4 3/4 inches of cutting surface. Here's the cutting edge that I keep very sharp. I sharpen it like I sharpen an axe. And you have a blunt edge here. And as I'll show you in the video, it's a very good shovel. You could use it like this, like a garden hoe, to dig into the earth. You could use it like a regular shovel when it's short, like this, like a regular entrenching tool. Now, you're gonna hear me say this a few times through the video, and I just need to make it really clear. When you chop with this, you need to keep it in the short position of the handle like this. Do not chop with it extended, because it will fail. It's not made for that. It's just not designed to do that. But when it's like this, it's as solid as a rock. And there's a semi-hard nylon sheath that comes with it. And it has a loop on the back right here. You could hang it off of your pack. I just kind of fold it up and throw it in my pack just like that. It's an awesome little shovel. The only thing I would have done differently, and it's not a concern, this is an excellent shovel. I've used this really hard for a couple of months, and there's no signs of failure whatsoever on it. But on the end here, I just wouldn't have put something as delicate as a compass. I would have made that solid and textured like a pommel, so I could have used it to hammer. And I would have put a small button compass on the inside. But I mean, if you're careful with the end of it, it's not going to be an issue at all. It's not an issue. I'm just saying, if I would have had my choice, I would have got a solid end, just because I use my stuff really hard out in the woods. But for what it's for, the fact that it's a shovel, a utility shovel, and multi-position, and it extends, it has the foot plates on it so you could push down like a regular shovel, and it performs really well, as it should. It chops phenomenally. I mean, I couldn't tell you how much firewood I've processed down and how many twigs I've chopped up, because it's so thin, it just gets such a deep bite. So stay tuned, and let's get out into the field. Alright everybody, this is the Little Joe utility shovel from 2Go Systems, and I'm going to show you guys some usage of it out in the field. I already gave you the specs. And in my honest opinion, this is really good. It's a really good shovel. It chops really nice, as I'm going to show you. It takes a really sharp edge because this edge here, like I showed you before, is made to be a cutting edge. It's very well made, very sturdy, and just user discretion. You cannot chop with this in the extended position. Just tightening it up. I'm going to show you the extended position in a little while, but you're only allowed to chop with it like this. Otherwise you'll snap it because it's double threaded, and it's built really well. I'd say the only design flaw in this whole shovel is right here. It's a weak spot, and because you're going to be hitting, banging, and smashing on this thing all the time, I think it's a little bit of a design flaw. Maybe you could have put a little button compass on the inside just to use separately, and I would have kept that end like a pummel and just kept it solid for smashing. Or I would have even went so far as to maybe put a little spike on the inside of the handle so you could turn it upside down and screw it that way for loosening dirt and rocks up. But it does have a nice little chamber like I showed you. But that's the only design flaw that I see, is I don't think that there should be something as fragile as a compass on here. But other than that, stay tuned and I'm going to show you some use of the To Go Systems Little Joe utility shovel. Alright, I got it in the open position, and I'm going to clean my fire pit out. Yeah, like I said, I think this shovel is probably just about the most perfect packable shovel I ever used. Except that compass in the end, I'd really have that a solid piece so I can use it as a pummel. You could use it for pounding tent stakes in, a nail, if that was solid textured metal. That little bit of extension gives you a good reach and leverage. Most shovels this size don't come with an extension like that. Alright, next we're going to go to bare earth and dig a little hole, so stay tuned. Alright, it's a little bit rocky back here. It's actually very rocky, so what I'm going to see what I could do. It's unfortunately rocky this way because I'm so close to a river. if you're really nature cautious and you're going to spend a lot of time out in the woods for a couple of days deep in the woods and you don't have access to a bathroom, you can make a pit like this. You could dig a pit like this for a small fire, but that little bit of extension that it does gives it a really good leverage. So let's move to a different part of the video and I'll show you some more features of it. Put it in this position and try to be cautious of the cutting edge if you're going to do what I'm about to do. Try not to use the cutting edge to do this because you'll ruin it and dull it out. So if you can help it, use it this way. Good for cleaning up debris. It's also good for loosening dirt. So let's get to the next part of the video. Now I'm going to do some chopping for firewood. It's actually pretty efficient. It's so thin, you got to tighten it once or twice and then it locks in. But keep it short. You have to keep it short, not extended like when I was shoveling to chop with it, or the threads will just come apart. But this way it's pretty much indestructible when you're chopping with it. You'll have almost no issues, but it has to stay short like this when you're chopping. Going through this pretty easy.